It is EMAC's pleasure to collaborate with City University of London and the DIFC's Academy of Law to bring quality conferences to the Middle East. Conferences like this help the maritime industry at large understand what the impact of legal issues in the sector are.
In an industry that is built on assets that cost a lot of money, it is absolutely essential to make sure that the shipbuilding industry and the construction of vessels is as healthy as possible. Ultimately, it is essential that the contract that underlies the construction of the asset, that is the fundamental bedrock of the industry, is one that is detailed, is correct, and does what it's intended to do, which is give the ship owner the ship that they want and that they are able to make money off for a long period of time, and also gives the shipyard a profit, because ultimately the shipyards are a business and not a charity. Our talk today sought to look at the different clauses that one has to bear in mind, and that where one could find stuff that is easy to trip up on when one looks at the complexities of the project that is building a ship. When you have an asset that's worth $80 million, you have to look very closely at the 60 pages of contract that govern the construction of that asset.
Today I gave a paper at this Maritime Law conference on causation in marine insurance. It was a bit more of an academic paper where I talked about the works of certain philosophers and about how to determine whether something is a cause rather than just a necessary condition for a loss.
EMAC has a case. 2 years in, and we are seeing DP World, GAC, Seamaster Maritime, and even Caterpillar write us into their standard clauses. At EMAC, we aim to ensure that the industry understands that they have access to a regional arbitration centre that aims to keep efficiency up and costs low when it comes to dispute handling.
I'm delighted to be here to launch our first master's course in law, which is particularly on maritime law. City University of London has been working very closely with the DIFC for some time. We currently have 5 master's courses running in the region. These cover our executive MBA course run by our business school CAS, and we have 4 courses in the aircraft industry run by our engineering school. This is the first venture of our law school into the Dubai region, and it's particularly appropriate for us to be running a course in maritime law, as we have connections with a number of the maritime industries and regulatory authorities here.
The quality of the other speakers was, I think, remarkably high. I mean, I'd say this is probably the best conference I've been to for the last 10 years.
In terms of the conference, it is always exciting to be part of something that is new for the Dubai industry. City Law School coming to Dubai, launching their LLM, this Maritime Law Conference today, it's all an example of how Dubai is advancing as a maritime hub, and how we, as part of a maritime cluster, have a contribution to make to that growth.
It's been a successful conference overall because there's a good buzz in the room and outside the room when people get together and talk, both from the legal services industry and from the shipping industries. And I hope that going forward, this conference will happen again and it will be a focal point for these kind of exchanges to happen.